Pollicy is an acronym that comes from opinion polling and policy making. And the story of Pollicy is that years ago, citizens had found a very hard time interacting with governments, and in as much as accessing services was concerned.
The point of starting this organization was to figure out how to use data more effectively to influence service delivery across African countries.
At Pollicy, we do our research really based on human-centered design.
We engage, empower, and experiment. Through engagement, we develop digital tools that amplify two-way interaction between citizens and government.
Our work focuses on using data, and we want people to be part of a bigger discourse, because whether we like it or not, data has become a part of our lives, and if we are not part of the discussion and if we do not have a seat at the table, then other countries and other corporations will make this safe for us. So it's very important that whatever we do around data, that we make sure that people in the countries that we work in have a seat at the table to talk about this, and this is really what our work is about.
Pollicy is an organization approaching the problems that tech poses to society in a creative and inclusive way.
We work with the users so that the research work that we do, the findings that we get, the recommendations that we develop, they resonate with the needs of the user.
So we use data and research and digital tools to promote and create awareness.
But most importantly, we want to craft better life experiences on how citizens, grassroots citizens, can interact with data.
We have three main pillars of work, which are doing data trainings, because we want people across Africa to be on the same level as Western countries in how we use, process, and protect our data. The second arm is that we do research on data, so looking at data governance, digital rights, anything where data comes in contact with citizens. And the third part that we do is that we build technology products that are based on data, for example, when we do social media monitoring projects.
When it comes to impact, I immediately think of our research work. So some of the research that we do has never been done before in an African context. So for example, an issue like online gender-based violence, or how data is used by feminist movements. This is research that has been done, but not necessarily in an African context. So when we do such research, we're visibilizing these issues in African context and giving people the data to use for their advocacy.
In our past projects, I'll take for example Create Your Kampala, which was a civic project that was aimed at empowering citizens to seek better services in their communities. We employed or used data artistry, where we made sure that the data that we had collected, we took it back to the people in form of murals that were painted on walls to make sure that people understand the data that comes from their community. And we feel like such methods of relaying information to the people are the way to go if we are going to have a communally, or if we are going to have citizens that are actively engaged in policy dialogue.
We know that a lot of content that deals with data can be quite filled with jargon or can be quite complicated, and you might lose interest of people who should be a part of the conversation. So we are always trying to use creative means to make sure that any of the content that we create can reach people at different spectrums, can meet them where they are, whether that's creating games or creating chatbots that are conversational, or using artwork, using murals. So I think what really sets us apart is how we combine art and technology to talk about data.
At Pollicy, we believe in the power of data to revolutionize how governments provide services to citizens, and we aim to digitally transform services across Africa to craft better life experiences for citizens.
In 5 or 10 years, I see Pollicy being an organization that actually comes up with solutions informed by the insights that we find from our own research.
My vision is to have a company that's headquartered here with subsidiaries in other countries, where we get to dictate how the research happens, what kinds of views we take in. And I think that being in Africa, we have a very unique perspective that we can share with the world instead of the other way around. So I think, when we first started off, we were doing work in Uganda, and now we're quite Pan-African, and so the next step is just to go global.